Now, before we start, I would like to introduce you to the host institutions of this event. We are My English Club. It's a non-profit social movement dedicated to English language teachers in general and volunteer teachers in particular. And we provide this discussion forum like this one for teachers mainly in Indonesia, but we also operate for the teachers around the world. And the other host institutions is the umbrella institutions for this club, which is Bangun Tunas Cerdas Indonesia Foundations. It's an Indonesian foundation concerning education and sustainable development goals in general. Now I would like to give you some just a very quick briefing about what the events are, especially for those who's joining us for the first time. So Teachers Talk, especially this one, the Teachers of the World, is a discussion forum between ELT teachers in Indonesia and also worldwide. Yeah, we aim at promoting peer discussions, that's one, and then reflective practice, and recently intercultural awareness as you meet your fellow teacher from around the world. And it's held once a month, and it's open for everyone, for every teacher around the world. So if you have a peer outside that you would like to invite to join these sessions, the next sessions, please do so. And if you would like to watch the recording from the previous meetings and also from last year, because we have started last year, you can go to this link. And this is going to be sent to you if you're interested. All right, so yeah, this is a bit awkward, but that's all right. I guess I would like to introduce myself as the moderator. Usually I'm with my partner, Richard, but at this moment he is not able to joining us because of his workload today, but usually always with us during the talk. So my name is Levi. I'm the founder of this club, of My English Club. I'm an English language teacher. I mainly work with adolescent learners, and I'm also a postgraduate students in ELT with the University of Southampton, UK. My main interest, both professionally and academically, is in the global use of English and also in intercultural awareness in ELT. Okay, I'm not going to introduce Richard, of course, because he's not here, so we can just skip his part. And all right, without any further ado, we are going to start the meeting in a minute. I mean the presentations, yeah. We are going to discuss embracing the new normal, no turning back. Yeah, this is happening now, post pandemic. We teachers have to encounter some adjustments in our practice. And our presenters today, Maria and Mo, is going to share with us their reflections and also their best practices. Now, before we listen to their presentations, I'm going to introduce them to you. Okay. Our first presentation is Maria Concepcion Iglesias. Hello, Maria. Thank you for joining us.
Muted. Okay. Hi. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening,
all right.
Viviana, and to everyone here.
That's great. So Maria is an assistant principal for JHS academics at Narvacan Central High School in the Philippines. And she's also a teacher trainer, a coach, and a mentor in learning resource developments and also in ICT integrations. And she is also a Google certified educator level 2 and 1. She holds an MSc in science education from El Qusur Polytechnic State College in the Philippines, and she currently pursue her MA. I'm sorry, I cannot scroll down. Oh, sorry. And she currently pursue her master degree in ALT at Philippine Normal University. That's fantastic. Thank you for being here with us, Maria. Okay. And we also have Moe Sandar Kyaw, our young fellow teacher from Myanmar, full with enthusiasm for learning and teaching. She is a program coordinator and a senior teacher at ELC, Active English Language Center in Myanmar. She was also a volunteer teacher at Teach for Asian and a former teacher at IELT, Languages and Youth Resources Development School. And she is certified for teaching ELT, particularly with adults. Hello, Mo, if you can hear us. Thank you very much for joining.
Nice to meet you again.
All right, yes, always pleased to meet you. and we are really inspired with your enthusiasm to learn, to share, and to also joining in most of the sessions. Okay, now before we start, I would like to share with you the rundown of our event. So we are here in the opening and the introductory phase, yeah. And after that, we are going to hear the presentations, the flash presentations from our presenter. Each of them will be given 15 minutes to share their ideas, their reflections, their best practice according to the topic today. And after that, all of us, all of the participants, will be sent to the breakout rooms, and you will have 20 minutes to discuss there with your peers. You will be given some guiding questions, yeah, where you can discuss that questions with your peer in the breakout room. That will be a leaderless discussion, so please feel free to discuss with each other, but don't forget to appoint someone to represent your group to share the interesting findings in the rest of us in the main room. So please prepare 2 or 3 minute speech sharing the findings from your group. Yeah. And we usually have a pedagogical review with Richard, but because he isn't here with us, I'm just going to give a little warm up at the ends of our discussions, and that's all. Yeah. All right. So as usual, I will just go quickly on the code of conduct. Please remain mute, especially during the presentations, to allow our presenters to focus on their presentations. And if you wish to join the discussion later, then you please click on the raise hand button so I can notice you. And then whenever possible, I will be really appreciate if you can turn your video on. And I would also like you to know that the sessions, as other sessions, is recorded. Okay, and that will be all from me. Thank you very much again for joining, and we are going to start the first presentations from Maria. So Maria, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Labiana. So allow me to share my screen. Okay, can you see now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I am given 15 minutes to share what I have prepared. So good evening, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon from wherever you are. I am Maria Concepcion Iglesias from the Philippines. And this evening, I am going to share language teachers in a post-pandemic world. Okay, wait. Okay, a good teacher can make a big difference in a student's life. I believe all of you agree with this. And according to Goldhaber 2016, teacher quality matters. Teacher quality matters more than other school-related factors such as school leadership, school locality, and amount of learning resources. So what is the implication of this? It means that the quality of how teachers, whether you are a language teacher or not, the quality of how we deliver the lesson, it affects how students engage in a meaningful learning. So you're sharing, stop sharing. Wait, what's happening? So the main meat of my discussion or sharing this evening is that what makes a good language teacher in a post-pandemic world. So this is based on a book that I have read. So I am going to share the different 9 characteristics, which I think all of us here possess this quality. So this is more of a reflective presentation. And as I go on with the presentation, maybe we can reflect if we are doing these practices, or do we have it, or are we doing these practices? So the first one, good language teachers are competent users of the target language. So I think it is given that we ESL teachers, or English as a second language teacher, or English as a foreign language, it is expected that we should have higher proficiency level in English. So as the saying goes, we cannot give what we don't have. We cannot teach what we don't know, right? And the relationship between language competency or language proficiency and effective teaching has been established by several studies. So if we are proficient with the language, that means whenever there is a problem, we can make adjustment, we can make adjustment with the lesson, or at the same time we are more confident. I think that's the key word. We are more confident to teach our students. Okay, let's go to this. So here, According to Sadhedji, Richards, and Gaderi 2020, more proficient language teachers have been shown to be more capable of providing rich language input, serving as a good model of language use, giving more accurate and appropriate feedback to students, providing more effective responses to student questions, and using the target language to deliver lessons. So for the first quality, I believe all of us have checked it, right? Yes, we have it. We're doing this. That this is already part of our practice as ESL teachers. Next, good language teachers possess a strong pedagogical knowledge and skills. So what does it mean? It means that it is not enough that we are proficient, we are competent with the target language. So it is not enough for effective teaching. So we, as ESL teachers or language teachers, we need to have a deep understanding of the subject matter. Okay, so what is that deep understanding of the subject matter? Of course, the nature of the language, and then another is the pedagogy. So what is the nature of the language learning, so that we can teach it in most effective or more efficient matter. So what we are going to do here is that, of course, we're teaching from different parts of the world. So what is good in my context may not be good in your context. So what is effective in your context may not be effective in my context. So the main idea here is that to be effective language teachers, we should have a wide range of teaching methods to cater to the different needs of their teachers. Now, this is what I always tell to my fellow teachers, is that when we are teaching, whether you're teaching in language or other disciplines, there is no such thing as one size fits all, because our learners have different varied needs. Okay, we have different needs, we have different capabilities. Next, let's go to the third one. We have good language teachers have deep understanding of their students. Okay, so according to Griffith and Tajidin 2020, good teachers understand effective teaching is possible when they know their students' linguistic, affective, cognitive, and social needs. So it is not enough that you are proficient with the language. It's not enough that you are upskilled, you are capable with the pedagogies and the strategies. It is also important that we, language teachers, we should know also our learners. Okay, so we should know them. So in order to design a good lesson, or in order to deliver lessons in a way that it meets their diverse needs, and what is, I don't know, I am just speaking from our own context, because here in the Philippines, it's only in our province, it's only in last March 22 that we started our limited face-to-face. Since the start of the pandemic, there is no face-to-face classes. We use modular kind of learning, and then for those who have internet access, we also use online. So here, we language teachers, especially now, we are now in the post-pandemic time. We really have to think of ways on how to understand them, what are their needs, not only the social, the emotional needs, but also what are their learning needs. Okay. Well, as the researchers have said, that good language teachers, and all teachers also, we should continue to find ways to help every single student or learner to flourish and become the best that they can be, despite, of course, with the circumstances that we have now. Okay, let's go to the fourth. Good language teachers use a balanced approach to language teaching. So here, one controversial issue in language education, and I believe you all agree with me, is the question whether language should be taught as a knowledge or as ability. So it's more on, how am I going to teach the lesson? Okay, how am I going to deliver this topic? So what will be the approach? Is it knowledge versus ability? So when language is viewed as a knowledge, the focus of the instruction is on the explicit teaching of the language form. So this is more on the traditional way to teach the language. Okay, now if we go to the other one, teaching language as ability. Here, yes, the students have learned the different grammatical rules, but the rules are not taught explicitly. So this is more on how language is used in a more authentic way, or how the language is used for communicative purposes. So again, with this as a teacher, okay, so this should be a point of reflection for us. How are we teaching our students? But I cannot say that teaching language as a knowledge is not effective. I cannot say that teaching language as ability is more effective. So it depends upon you as a teacher. So it depends upon you as a teacher to gauge what do your students really need. So, but what matters most, again, as language teacher, we should know how to balance that two schools of thought in teaching language. So it's just a matter of balance. Okay, let's go to the next one. 5 good language teachers belong to professional learning communities. So professional learning communities, also known as collaborative learning groups, teaching learning circles, and lesson study group, refer to communities of dedicated and committed professionals who meet regularly to share professional experiences and to learn from each other. So this is from Glossary of Education Reform. Now, what are we doing right now actually is an example of a professional learning community. So we language teachers should not be confined within our own, like, hey, I know everything. I know everything. I don't need other ESL teachers or ELT, or yes, I don't need other teachers, something like that. So we learn more if we are part of a certain community. Okay, so here, because if we are exposed with the different practices of other teachers, there we can reflect, and then we can also evaluate our own practices. And I really salute to the one who initiated this kind of this kind of activity, because even though we are from different parts of the world, we are sharing from each other practices. Now let's go to the 6th one. Good language teachers are lifelong learners. Okay, so here, we language teachers should be open to learn. We should be open to relearn, and at the same time, we should be open to unlearn. Because for the past 70 years, maybe, or 50 years, what was true before about language learning, okay, some of them actually are no longer true now. So here, as language teachers, we should always continue learn. We should also, continue to learn, like uh, uh, being engaged. We should engage with the different professional development activities. We should always find time to do that. Okay, and because if we stop learning, the risk is that we may be out of sync with the new trends in education and, of course, in society. Okay, so next, let's go to 7. I believe I still have minutes left. Good language teachers use technology to enhance language learning. So for the past several sessions, I believe there were facilitators or speakers who shared the different technological apps to be used in teaching language. Okay, so especially since the start of the pandemic, technology has now become, it's amassed already in the in in education. And then because of pandemic, now I'm speaking from our context, it is the rise of the digital technology, wherein we plan and deliver our lessons. We assign homeworks, right? We meet our students, of course, because we cannot meet them face to face. So here, according to Ellis 2014, good language teachers are always on the lookout for technological tools that can help them apply key language acquisition principles in the most effective manner. So right now, there are many, actually many technological applications or technological apps. So it's up to us language teachers to choose what particular app is appropriate in our own context. So here in our country, we have this, we use this term, the positive use of ICT. So we are going to choose a certain application. So it depends upon you, upon the needs, the levels of your students or your learners, and then how are we going to use them in a positive way. So what is important is that when we are choosing the right application for our learners, see to it that does it will it help my students will it help my students to really finish, or it will meet the objectives of the lesson, something like that. Okay, let's go to number 8. Good language teachers know how to engage their students. So according to researchers, we are now on the era of engage learning. So here we're in learning happens when students are holistically engaged, when holistically means emotionally, cognitively, and socially engaged. But this is the question actually. How is our language classroom? How can we say when our students are fully engaged? Now, there are two thoughts here. Learners who are on task versus learners who are engaged. Okay, so what is the difference? What is the difference between the two? Like, take for example, you gave them a certain specific performance task or a certain task. So students who are on task, so there is a difference between these two. So students who are on task, that means the students were able to finish the task diligently. Okay, they were able to finish the expected requirements, the expected outputs, without really understanding the reason why they are doing this, why are we doing this, why they are doing this, and what they are doing. Okay, however, if the learners, we can say that the learners are genuinely engaged in the task. That means they can finish the task that you have given, and at the same time they have the clear view. I mean, they fully understood why are they doing this task, and how those tasks will help them to be, will help them to be a better language learners. Okay, so in short, engaged learners are more fully invested during lessons and making use of their mental resources to get the work done. So again, I cannot share what specific strategies to use on how to engage your students, because there is no such thing as one size fits all. So it is you who can really decide on how you are going to engage your students based on your context. And the last one, good language teachers take care of their own health. Okay, so we teachers, we face a lot of stressors. Please click the heart if you agree with me, right? So um we face a lot of stress, and the teacher burnout is common in our profession, sad to say, right? Because every day we are surrounded with different kinds of people. We deal with our students, we deal with our co-teachers, we deal with our boss, and then we really have a lot of work to do. I don't know, here in the Philippines, the normal class size is 40, but there are classes wherein there are 50, 60, or 70 students during the face-to-face before the pandemic. But now, since we have to follow the rules set by the government, the minimum number of students for face-to-face classes is 20. But then in a class of 60, in a class composed of 60 learners, that means we have to divide it into 3 shifts. So that is really stressful actually, right? So what is the best advice? What is my best advice to take care of our own health? Of course, the best one is self-care, and then we should find time for ourselves. So what are those different, I just took it from Google. So self-care can be what? So spending time alone, putting yourself first, asking for what you need, setting boundaries, and saying no. Saying no means saying yes to yourself. Setting boundaries, especially during the start of the pandemic, right? This is actually the common problems of my co-teachers, that sometimes students and parents expect that you should be available 24/7 online because there are a lot of queries. So, and then of course working from home is for me is more stressful, because because the boundaries became narrower and narrower, wherein they expect you to be there online, something like that. So okay, we should always remember that, unhealthy teachers cannot be good teachers. That is why we should take care of our health. We should take care of our health in order to be good teachers. So that ends my presentation. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. I don't know if
Oh,
I said it correctly.
yes, yes, you did it correctly. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Maria.
Okay.
Wow, that was
Thank
a
you.
wonderful presentation. Thank you very much for sharing it with us. I cannot be agree more with you, especially on the part where the integrations of the digital technology is now a norm for us teachers. So we need to find a way how to adjust ourselves in it. And that part where you mentioned about the context-based teaching, I couldn't agree more with that as well. So I think in my own practice, it is very important to keep doing some needs analysis. That's the technical language for something like, you keep exploring what your learners need, or whether your learners are engaged with the lessons, whether the objective of the classroom is achieved, something like that. So keep exploring your own classroom is very important, and that's the topic that I'm going to share with you on July. So
Oh.
make sure that you are
Yes.
joining again on July, because we'll be discussing classroom-based research. Yeah.
That's great.
All right. So thank you again, Maria. That was fantastic.
Okay, welcome. I just hope I did not extend my time.
You did, but it's okay. Time
Okay,
flies.
thank you. Okay, thank you.
That's all right. Thank you so much. All right. So as Maria mentions before that the there are no one tip fits all. Yeah. So I believe that each of us have our own methods in online learning, and our own strategies in and engaging the learners, and even our own platform in online learning. Now we are going to hear some recommendation, yeah, from our fellow teacher from Myanmar, Mo. She mentioned she is going to share with us her own practice, and that could be also useful for us. Okay, Mo, the time is yours now.
Okay, can I share my screen now?
Yes, please. You can.
But I couldn't do it.
Okay. Wait a minute. I will. All right. You should be able to do it now.
I got it now. Thank you. So, hello, teacher. Good evening from Myanmar. And like teacher Lavinia mentioned me, like I am Musna from Myanmar, and then I have been teaching English for over 3 years. But I can say I'm just a newbie here. Even though I'm a newbie, throughout my experience, I have used a lot of like digital tools for my classroom in order to create a fun classroom. So today I'm gonna share the website and activity that I'm trying to use in my classroom. I'm pretty sure that it will help you to make a fun classroom in your like online or face-to-face class. So, and then my first question is that, like, I just wanna know something from you, our teacher. Why do you use games and activity to teach? If you don't mind, let me know in our Zoom chat, in a short point or whatever you like. Let me know first. Okay, I'm waiting for them. Because you met especially, so not playing game. I love that. And then any other ideas? Oh, I got a lot there. To motivate our students to learn and engage them on a class activity. Thank you, Trophy, to spread the interest of children. Wow, to make our class fun and to make it more fun, develop outdoor activity. We use games to make our lesson more interesting as students. Thank you, Teacher Derek. And then we got okay, I got a lot of idea from your teacher. So thank you. Let's keep moving to student love fun activity. Yeah, sure. We love it. And then I think that's all right. Okay, let's keep moving to the next one. And then today I'm gonna share useful website for you, especially for your grammar and vocabulary. By the way, teacher, can you see my screen? Okay, thank you. So the first one is the teacher from our agency. You are familiar with the website, right? The website name is Game to Learn English. Actually, is it just a free site for students as well as for teacher to learn English online. And then when you enter that website, you can see a variety of games and activity that you can use to drill vocabulary or grammar with your student. And let me show you as an example. So here, when I enter this one, you will see vocabulary or grammar, whatever. But for example, when you have already taught the past tense with your student, on the next day, you can review your grammar with that current website. Like here, you can tell percent, and then you can change verb into verb. You need to match the way, and then you will say, is that woke like that? And then so they can get score 100 marks like that. And then sing, you will say, where's the virtual sing like that? So they will today say sang like that. And then drink. So they were today say, it's totally drank. And then gave like that. So and then this time they can make they can look at the picture and then they need to choose the verse. Look at the picture and then you need your three choices like that, and you need to choose one. And then they will totally choose.
Before 6, she.
This time we need to choose is the past, present, or they will be a missed one. So you need to choose the right one. So it will be a little bit confusing for us, but they can do this.
Woke up.
Okay, and then the next one, they will choose the picture, choose the one, is the press, drink, or here. And then they will choose the right one.
This morning I.
We can make a difference. So we are talking about past, so you need to use verb one or verb two. It's a verb two, so you need to choose the correct spelling.
Pressed a button.
How can you use it? And then the next one I'm gonna share is that what word. And then I think that some teacher are familiar with this one. Word is word is just a free and useful online tool, for creating learning activity. So with this tool, you can receive a variety or ready-made game. For example, discussion question, online quiz there. Sometimes you can make worksheet and much more. If you want to do URL, you can do it easily one. Sorry for that. Sorry about that one. I just did it. So actually, I have a bad connection, so I can do it and it's right here. Look at it. Sorry for that, teacher. Let me skip this one. And then the next one is that one of my favorite is that the website is called We of Name. Is that We of Name is just a random letter tool. So that is the design for choosing names and winner. For example, in my class, so whenever in my classroom, they join online class, they join breakout room. After they need to answer my question. In this time, whenever I ask, who like to go first? Nobody want to go first. So in that time, I'm trying to use this We of Name. So I always put their name here, like Elizabeth, maybe is that John, and then next one is maybe Mary. So you can post up to over 360 days in the We Speaker. So I will put their name there. So nobody went to answer. So I will click to spin, and then it will automatically choose the one. It's totally Mary. Subject we can do in the next one. So instead of calling their name, sometimes they people, so we can use check current activity in our. And the next one is education.com. Actually, education.com for me is just a very website for me. And when you visit that site, you can see over maybe 25,000 worksheets and then exercise and games and colorful games. Our teacher, whenever we prepare our lesson, we trying to find worksheet or maybe saw on Google, search engine at Google or Pinterest. So instead of wasting time there, you should visit that website. And then you can find the worksheet or the one that you want to download, and then you can make sip a coffee and print it. It's quite easy. But I won't do example for that because I have a bad connection today. Let me get that one for example. So if you want to know about it, you can ask me freely anytime. And the next one is the Lamphit, and there are teacher from our center are familiar with this one. Lamphit.
Right, that's it.
Lamphit, is it one of the most functional website where you can find interactive games, activity discussion, and send them mention like a lot of exercise. So by using that, you can create your classroom. You can change your classroom into a fan classroom. Like, you know, in our online class, instead of like whenever we teach the lesson, sometimes we use like, you know, traditional techniques. And then sometimes students were feeble. In that time, we should use that kind of like valuable website from gain activity from valuable website. So that will hand up to be a better classroom. And the next one is that like some teacher some teacher like to give, you know, the vocabulary after they like to do you know, exercise. So in that time, instead of doing the easier one, you can do like crossword process. It's just a valuable website for process, and then it's a free, and then you don't need to do any registration. So with this, so you know, in that's to it just as simply as, and you know, and like one of the rapid way to make a puzzle, and then you can share it easily and you can print it easily wherever you go. And the last one is that almost all teacher notice, and I consider is that one of my cover T whenever I teach my classroom, I'm trying to use this one. You know, this game is like just simple and easy to use for like not only for student but also for teacher. And then, you know, the games are easy to use. And then when the student like don't need any codes or account to play it. And then, you know, actually I apply this game like to do to create their vocabulary after teaching some vocabulary country, so they can make like what is the country and what is their nationality. I use this one to create their vocabulary. Another one is that like at the beginning of the class, I use this one as a warm-up activity. Okay, that's bring me to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention. So I would love to answer your questions that might have. So thank you, our teacher.
All right, thank you very much, Mo, for the useful resources for online learning. Yeah, I believe that can enrich our reference. So after perhaps we set up the syllabus, we set up the lesson plans, we set up the task, then the next step will be to set up the activities that can be engaging for the learners. So in this case, what Mo has presented to us can serve as very useful recommendations. But I'm sure, of course, you have your own versions, your own sets of websites that you usually use in your context that is serve your needs, yeah, and also the characteristic of your students. Now, okay, hold on a second. All right, so thank you very much again for Mo and also for Maria for the brilliant presentations. Now, teachers, we are at this discussion stage, yeah. So as we did last month, yeah. Sorry, there's some noises, some back sound. Okay. All right. So as we did last month, we sent the teacher participants to the breakout rooms, yeah, where you are going to discuss with your peers on certain questions. Now, this is the guiding question for you. I will write up on the chat. The question is, what is the most challenging issues or issues, yeah, issue or issues in your post-pandemic context? Do you have to deal with the number of students like Maria? Do you have to deal with the shift of form between online back to face to face quite challenging for you, or else? Yeah, so please share within your peer. Yeah, Mo and Maria, you will be also sent to the breakout rooms, but feel free to stay in that room, or whether you want to move from room to rooms, for example, that's totally okay. Yeah, and I'm also going to be in the different rooms to help you if you need some help with anything. Yeah, and one more thing, don't forget to appoint someone to share the interesting findings from the discussions to us later. Yeah. All right, so I am going to open 4 breakout rooms. This is random. Yeah, so this will be very interesting because you will meet with teachers from different part of the world. Today we've got not only Indonesian teachers, besides Maria and Mo, we also got Taufik from Morocco. Hello, Taufik. We also got Derek, also from Myanmar. May, also from Myanmar. Liz is from the US. I think it's really early in the US at this moment. And so on, yeah. Okay, so that will be very interesting to meet our international teachers in the rooms. Okay, so you will be given 20 minutes, so it's plenty of time for you to discuss. See you guys in 20 minutes. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Livia.
Hello. Yes, let's wait for everyone to joining us. How was the discussions in your room?
It's okay.
That's great.
Great.
Yes, yes,
And
great.
share idea, share problems.
Share problems too. Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe those problems are common.
Mm.
It's really common to all of us.
So that's
Problems on reading,
right.
learning loss.
Right. So that operates across contexts. Unfortunately.
Yes.
Hello,
Answer.
everyone. Welcome back to the main room.
Hello.
I apologize if I cut your discussions. I'm really sorry, but really have to maintain the time frame.
Yes, it's
So
9:20.
yes, I'm so sorry about this. Sorry.
So
It's
fun
okay.
to have a smaller discussion even.
That's
I don't know
great.
what you want to say.
That's
Like
great.
looking at each other camera.
Yes. I'm glad if you guys like the new format because this is actually something that has applied only since last month. Yeah. So I'm glad that this works well. Okay. Sorry. I have a little cold. So yes, yeah, I think we have some problems with some of the participants seems to have a connection issues. So I can see that the number of the participants reducing, unfortunately. But yes, now at this part of this event, we are going to share your findings in your discussion, some of the interesting points from your discussion. So I hope room 1 to room 5 are already assigned someone to share to the main room. But don't forget that you only have 2 minutes to share the interesting findings. Again, I'm so sorry for this, but this is the time limit. Okay, so let's start with room 1. Who will be sharing for room 1 on behalf of room 1?
What's the number of our group, guys? I don't remember. Oh, 4. Okay.
I think Derek will be. Thank you.
Please,
You
Derek.
should do it.
I'm kicking you in, Derek. Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, right. Please.
So there are 4 of us in the group. It would be Derek, Tika, and Miss Eva, and we are as well. We are discussing that post-pandemic, we are facing a few problems during our teaching time or interaction time with the kids. Like post-pandemic, we have hybrid class, like half the class in the classroom, half the other half is online, and then teacher have to keep up with both systems. And then we have same all of us facing internet access problems during post-pandemic, like sometimes it grows stronger, sometimes it's very slow. And then that affect gadget using also the kids' participation in the classroom. And then we find out that we have problem also with gadget use, like most kids since pandemic has been using gadgets a lot. Sometimes it's not for school use, but it's for entertainment. The main issue that we discuss is our time management during teaching. All of us having a little bit troubles in manage that. So what we are trying to discuss is how we can suggest each other is in terms of time management, we try to make sure we write down meticulous planning and priority setting up priorities in our teaching, whether we are going to give them lesson or we are going to help them gaining their confidence or characters in facing the change or facing the pandemic things positively. Some of us or some of the students were quite pessimistic, they being uncertain with what will happen in the future. That's one of our teachers. And then we're giving them, we are setting to give compliment and rewards in order to encourage them to be more active, to be more fun, to have classes is more interesting. And then the last, we conclude that I think we need to make more activities and more engaging, and then try to be brave, setting fun activities that perhaps give them more sense of together, sense of bravery by doing physical contact, although we are trying to avoid that during pandemic or a little bit like last semester, keeping distance and stuff. I think that's what we are trying to discuss today. The issue and suggestion that we can do for the next step if we are teaching again. And then hopefully it's more offline classes rather than online.
Okay, fantastic,
you.
Group One. Thank you very much, Group One. That was a brilliant discussions and a brilliant sharing from Ms. Vijayanti. All right, now I shall move on to Group Two. So who is going to share from Group Two?
Hello, Miss.
Oh, is it Miss Virus?
Yes.
Okay, I am going to pin you so you'll be able to be seen. Okay, please, time is yours.
From group 2, we are Miss Liz, Miss Ikawati, and Miss Emily, and then me and Miss Maria. From our experience, during the first time in pandemic, the trouble is that it's not everyone can have the internet connection. So we cannot reach out our students 100%. Yeah. And then there are some problems in reading. Yeah. Sometimes students don't understand what is the meaning of the text that they read. That is from Miss Emily. And then from Miss Ikawati is problems in speaking. Children or students afraid to speak in English. And then because it's online, not everyone open their video. So the teacher cannot see what happened at the student place. Is the student listening or not listening? And sometimes they don't do the project. Yeah, they don't do what the teacher asks them to do. And then from myself, yeah, from my experience is at the first time, I don't understand the technology of online teaching. I need to learn fast. I need to learn about Zoom, about Google Classroom and everything online class. And then not because I teach preschool, so it's hard for me to keep in touch with my student because they cannot stay long in front of the screen and they cannot sit down. So I need to find a way out to keep in touch with my students so they get my lesson. So I teach the parents. So I teach the parents all the to sing a song, the finger play. I send them the video so they can play with their children. That is from our group. Is anyone want to add something more?
Thank you so much, Ms. Fairuz. If there are members from group 2 would like to add anything, then you can do it on in the chat box. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. That was a brilliant presentation from Ms. Fairuz, and also I believe that the discussions in the room must be really, really engaging and very useful for sure. Okay, now let's move on to group 3. Who is from group 3? Group 3. Who are in group 3?
No, I don't remember the name.
Oh, yes, yes. It was you, Tofik. Okay, so are we going to share?
Okay.
The findings?
So everybody can hear me?
Clearly, yes, please.
Okay, so the most common things that we have found between my room share and my teachers, like we have found like teaching wise not much more flexible. Like this teachers, they have like lack of resources that we have described actually in the class. It doesn't give more flexibility. It's not like in real or physical class. That's the first challenging point. And the second one is about like access to the connection. So access to the internet, right? So the most students, they cannot have internet in their homes. So that's why we cannot reach out all the students at the same time. And the last point, I think, so some students like they don't have like more instructions when they learn at home. It's not like learning at a school, so they feel free to do whatever they want. So some students they like that, but that is not. It's like in a negative side of their learning, right? So that's the most points that we got in our group.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Tofik. Okay. Right. Group 3 has shared their findings, yeah, their discussions. And now I shall move to group 4, the last but not least. Who is going to share from group 4?
Last but not least, yeah, they forced me to. And I'm sorry I didn't take notes because I thought somebody else would do it. So maybe I just say it on top of my head.
Yes, go ahead.
And we didn't talk about the online learning because we believe that we are talking about the post-pandemic. So we are going back to school. We are going back to the classroom. But
yeah,
I guess the same challenge we face is that we feel that there is a learning loss. So for the past 2 years, like the students kind of lost something. So it's the same here in Indonesia. And one of our members was Rafat Badawi, who is in Saudi Arabia. So he's from Egypt, but he's teaching in Saudi Arabia now. So they have the same problem too. So the same thing is that the past 2 years has been like a vacuum in the education. And this in Saudi Arabia, they come up with these remedial classes. So they have like a few months of like catching up with everything that's been lost. They have special classes. And the same from Samarinda and Mr. A. So they have this moving classes, especially for English. So like they combine the students from different levels. So like lower levels with upper levels. So regardless of the classes, they just, every English session, they will move to the same class. So it's like flying classes. It's interesting strategy. And I think it's working to catch up with the loss. That's one of the strategies. And there are some challenges too that from Miss Situjoria from Jakarta that he learned, I mean, all the teachers learned that during the pandemic, the teachers, the students have been learning to cheat. Like they work together because it was
Interesting.
online. But now that we are moving back to the classroom, the habit is kind of hard to shake. So it's challenging that even in the classroom, they're still trying to cheat. But the good thing is that Ms. Siti says that we are still optimistic that we can do something about this. They are coming up with a strategy and a method to bring back that honesty in the classroom, so nobody cheated. And another challenge is that the lack of support from the parents, especially in DKI Jakarta, which is Miss Siti and Rahma. So there are two people from Jakarta in our classroom. They have this, what was it? KJP, Kartu Jakarta Pintar. So the students will get 600,000 a month. So the parents are not interested in the learning of their students. I mean, their children, but they are interested in getting the money. So the attention shifted from learning to the money, and that brought troubles to the teachers because they think that they are lacking of the attention from and support and coordination from the parents. That's the challenge. And hopefully we will get back to the right track and we will get over all the pandemic and post-pandemic issues, and hopefully we will do better in our education, inshallah. Thank you.
Inshallah, I really hope so too.
Yeah.
I think everyone would hope the same thing. Brilliant. Thank you, Miss Nina, for the brilliant representations, and also group 4. I'm so happy to listen to learn so many things from you all. This is very valuable sessions. So I sum up some important points here. Yeah, I will divide into 2 main things, main area. The first one is the issues. So all the participants in the different rooms share some similar issues. The first one is the lack of participations. That's the issue that we shared. For example, most of the students, they turn off the video so we can reach them up. We don't know what they are doing at the moment, and they are not engaged with the task. They are not doing the task and so on. So lack of participations is an issue. And also, Ms. Virus from group 2, I think, also mentions about, because she is teaching very young learners, it's hard to keep them sit in front of the screen. I think it's recall my memories to our first sessions with Olaf from Mexico. He mentions that online teaching, online learning is not for everyone. We have to admit that. And in terms of the very young learners, I think the statement is really valid there. Yeah. So the second one is with internet access. Yeah, this is very common issues. And unfortunately, this is also operates in different contexts in different part of the world. And learning loss due to above issues, yeah, because of the lack of the participations, because of the lack of internet access, then we face the learning loss. And also that there are some issues around reading. I think this is online or in person. This is the issues that we are also often have to encounter. And also teacher skills in catching up with the technology. That's something that I think we are lucky now that we are getting used to it, right? At this moment, but long time ago, like not long time ago, let's say 1-2 years ago, when we start doing this in the very first time, it was very challenging, I believe, for many of us. And I found it really interesting when that Taufik from group 3, I think, mentions that it is for him or for the group, I think, is less flexible in doing online teaching, yeah, because for some, online teaching offers more flexibility. But again, I think in this case, we have to come back to the notions, to the thought, to the opinion that online learning is not for everyone. We have to admit that. And moral issues, cheating or trying to cheat. Yeah, that's something that we also have to encounter and we have to face. And then lack of parents' involvement and support. Sometimes parents, because I am a parent too, So my issue in the beginning was that it's quite hard to really catch up as a woman who works and also as a student myself, and also have to help my child. It's quite challenging on behalf of the parents. You also shared some strategies. First of all, I really like this one. Set up the priority of the learning objectives at the given lesson or at the given session. So what do you want to focus on that given lesson? Do you want to focus on enhancing their digital literacy? Do you want to focus on raising their confidence in online learning? Do you want to catch up with the lessons they left behind, or so on? So I think this is a good strategy, that you focus one thing at a time, because it's really difficult to embrace everything in online learning due to all of those issues that we have mentioned earlier. Yeah. And then the second strategies you guys shared is ensuring engaging activities. Really important, this one. Yeah. And then involve the parents, yeah, as opposed to the lack of parent involvement as the issues. We need to involve the parents, like what Miss Virus did with her students, her young learners. She taught the parents how to sing the nursery rhymes. Yeah, well, this is epic. I think this will be very challenging for some parents. Okay, and then I also like this ideas from Rafat from group 3, I think, or group 4, was it? The remedial class while back to school. It might be quite challenging and can be a burden for some learners. So we have to treat it quite carefully, do you think? Yeah, so because a remedial class, they have to catch up with the learning loss, but it can be a solution too. And finally, I also like this one, the solution from Samarinda, a city in Kalimantan as well. Yeah, from Mr. A from group 4, I think. Mixed ability class. I think that can be a good idea, yeah. Especially if your teaching context is flexible. For example, if you're teaching in a private English school, for example, so you can mix the different skills of your learners at different levels and different age, perhaps, so they can learn from each other. Okay, that's my note. Oh, from Makassar. Okay, wow, from our neighboring island. Fantastic. Okay, now I'm looking at the chat box. Tawfiq mentions diverse resources that have been used on the classes is so important. Yes, diverse activity also means diverse resources. That's right. That's vital too. Okay. Right, so I think that will be all for today. We are a little bit over time. I apologize because we also start later. We are late for 6 minutes, so I'm so sorry for that. And I hope I can see you again next month. That will be myself as one of the speaker. So I will not be the moderator anymore. I will be one of the presenter sharing classroom research. So I hope you like that topic. And also with Liz, I guess. Is she here? No, I think she has problems with the connections. So I will be sharing the space with Liz next month on July, inshallah. Okay, and that will be all. But before we leave this room, I would like to ask everyone here to leave some comments, some feedback for us. The link to the form is on the chat, so please click it now. You are free to fill it up later, but please click it now so you won't lost it. Great sessions, yes, Maria, and great presentation from you. You have sparked so many things for us to think about. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, so again, please make sure that you have clicked the link on the chat. And now I will stop. Oh, wait a minute. How do I do it? I will stop pin myself. Oh, still me? Hold on a second. Oh, apologize. Okay. All right.
So I like seeing you.
Okay, my face is too big on the screen. Okay, thank you so much once again for all the teachers. I really appreciate you have spent time for us for learning together in this learning space. And let's have a group photo before we leave this room. If that's okay with you, you can turn your camera on whenever possible. All right. Yay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I am going to take a pictures on the screen. Okay. Hold your smile for 3, 2, 1, cheese. Okay. Once more. Right. Hold your smile on 3, 2, 1. All right. Brilliant. Okay. Again, thank you so much. And I'll see you again next month, probably again by the end of the month, probably on 31st of July.
Thank you very much, Levy.
Yes,
Thank you,
my
everybody.
pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye-bye,
Miss
cheers.
Levy.
Bye. Take care. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Mo. Take care, everyone. Thank you all so much. Right. See you.